The title of our conversation is Inside Out. Sino ba nakapanood dito ng movie na Inside Out? Oh, there is a movie. One night when we are having dinner, Irene asked me, ano ba ang title mo? During in your conversation, sabi ko, Inside Out. And then Mark mentioned, oh, Daddy, there is a movie, no? A cartoon. Talks about 11 years old girl who's driven by 5 emotions. In a way, that is right, no? There are 5 emotions na nagdadrive doon kay Riley, dun sa character na yun. Which is the joy, the sadness, yung anger, fear, and disgust. All of them, depende sa situations, they are acting. They are the one driving Riley. So that is the movie. Try to watch that. Now, today we are going to discuss about emotion. Maybe you are asking, what is emotion? Ano ba yung emotion? What causes us to have that kind of feeling or behavior? According to Webster, emotion, it defines as emotion as a conscious and subjective mental reaction towards a particular event. So yung emotion pala natin, it is a reaction to a particular event. No, sabi ng Webster then, there are 4 components of emotion. One is the cognitive, so yung pag-iisip natin when we see a situation. So siyempre, magkakaroon ng reaction dun sa mind natin, cognitive reaction. There is also physiological reaction. So pag naisip natin, ano kaya nangyayari doon? So may change sa body natin. And suddenly, meron ding, the other component is our behavior. There is a behavioral reaction doon sa particular event. And the last one is the affect, either positive or negative emotion. Now, I'll give you examples of some of the emotions that we commonly experience. No? Sino ba rito ang mahilig manood ng horror movie? Oh, nakakatakot, no? Di ba? Pagka andyan na yung music and then napaka-dilim and suddenly you watch na, nakikita mo na parang nakakatakot. Ano nangyayari? Yung mind mo tickling and suddenly yung physiological reaction mo, no? Nagtatakip ka na ng mukha mo. That is what's happening. Then suddenly, anong emotion mo? You are so fearful. Takot na takot ka. That's one of the emotion. Based dun sa nakikita mo, based dun sa nangyayari, or based dun sa circumstance na nakikita mo. The other one is, we can be joyful. No? We can be joyful. When we are surrounded by people na napakasaya and they are throwing jokes and laughter surrounds the environment. Oh, ang saya-saya ng feeling. No? Napakagaang ng feeling. But that's one of the emotion as well. The other one is resentment. Resentment. Ito yung mga tao na parang galit sa mundo. Can you look to your person beside you? Tingnan nyo nga kung galit siya sa mundo, ano? Well, resentment, sometimes, when you are in conversations to your boss, then natik yung ego mo, and then you cannot express it, no? Parang galit na galit ka, and suddenly, anong nagiging reaction mo? Parang the whole day, you are so much in anger. And suddenly, if someone asks you, kamusta ka? Wag mo nga akong pakialaman dito. Di ba? Kaya ganun, you try to resist a person na nangangamusta lang naman sa'yo. Why? Because of that ego. Because of, natik nga yung ego natin. No? They say, no? If we are able to manage our emotion, it is good para sa atin. One of the example is danger. Kapag nakakita tayo, when there is a circumstance or event, may danger sa paligid natin, yung emotion po natin drives us to survive. Sino ba rito hinabol na ng aso? Kahit siguro pipilay-pilay ka, may danger dyan, kakagating ka, I'm sure you can run. That is our reaction. You want to survive. You want to get out of that danger, di ba? Primary 6 ako, no? Yung teacher ko, telling us a story. Sabi niya, nagkaroon ng sunog dun sa bahay nila. Teacher ko, babae, and the mom, babae rin. Silang dalawa habang may sunog. Binuhat nila yung refrigerator and bring it outside home. Nung nawala na yung sunog, they have to bring back yung mga gamit nila. Nung tinatry nila yung refrigerator, they cannot imagine kung paano nila nabuhat. No? That is because of survival instinct. They are driven by emotion. Yung talagang, kailangan natin lumabas dito. Sometimes emotion really can help us. Try to observe. Among your friends, sabi nila, emotions sometimes bond together those people who has the same attitude or emotion. No, kung joker ka, mga kasama mo joker din, no? No, kung sporty ka, mga kasama mo sporty din. But do you know that our emotion can control us. And when that moment, emotion controls us, it becomes the one who is manipulating our daily living. And once the emotion becomes the controller of our life, it becomes the God. Siya na yung sinusunod natin because of that emotion. Now, God cannot be God kapag ang sinusunod natin in our daily living is our emotion. I'll give you an example. Maybe you are asking, talaga ba? Is it really that emotion can drive us or can really manipulate our daily living? I'll give you an example. Who among us here excessively thinking? Natulog ka na ng maaga, 8 o'clock, you prepared so much, nakahiga kang ganyan, but then 2 a.m. na, gising ka pa? Why? Maybe you are thinking so much, no? You worry so much and you are asking, or maybe you have this question in mind na, ano na mangyayari sa amin bukas? Or what will happen to my future? You are so afraid of something gonna happen. If that's what you are experiencing right now, maybe you are being enslaved of your emotion. No? Ito na yung nagko-control sa buhay mo. Have you experienced or met a person, katulad ng sinabi ko kanina, a person that reacting so much without even thinking? No? Basta lang outburst yan, even a minor situation. Pagising mo pa lang sa umaga, meron ng nagagalit dito sa bahay. You are reacting so much. Or maybe you are nasa group kayo, nagkukwentuhan kayo, and suddenly you talk about love. And then this person, wag na kayo magkwentuhan yan, hindi totoo yung love na yan. No? She's reacting too much. Yung pala, ang nangyari, nag-break up sila eh. No? Merong dinadala, emotionally hurt. What I'm trying to say here is that if emotion is in control, then we can experience something that is not good in our life. Now, what we're trying to learn this afternoon is this. Loving God is the antidote to negative emotions. Now, to love God is to allow Him to take control of our emotion, especially the negative emotions. Why I've said antidote? Later, I'll try to explain why I mentioned here that by loving God, the negative emotion will be washed away. And it is the antidote to our negative emotions. But let me talk about loving God. The book of Mark, chapter 12, verses 29 to 30. This is the time when the Lord Jesus Christ was asked by one of the teachers of the law. They were having a debate, and he was challenged. And one of the teachers of the law asked, Jesus, among the commands, what is the best of it? No? What is the best commandment? What is the most important? Now, the most important one, answered Jesus, or Jesus answered, is this: Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. And verse 30, love the Lord your God with all your heart, your mind, and with all your strength. That is the most important command we have to remember. That is the answer when the Lord Jesus Christ was asked, what is the most important command? Now you have to remember, we need to love God wholeheartedly, no? Hindi partially. Dapat yung pagmamahal natin sa Diyos, hindi ito nakabase kung paano natin alam sambahin ng Diyos. Di ba? Kalimitan, madidinig natin sa ating mga kaibigan or other person who is worshiping God. They're telling, oh, okay na ako, nakapagbigay na ako dyan. I don't need to be inside the church. Ang tawag pa nga nila, nakapag-abuloy na ako eh. I've done my part, that is my worship. God is asking us to love Him the way He asks us. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, and with all your strength. That is Our God is asking us to love Him. There are two types of worshipers, sabi ni Pastor Rick Warren. One of the worshiper, tayo siguro nakikita natin, or we are observing this to other people. One of the worshiper, lagi nilang sinasabi na, I can only worship kapag naramdaman ko na yung emotion. Or their worship is being driven by their emotional conviction. Kailangan merong maramdaman sila before they can say that I can really worship God. Pastor Rick Warren mentioned it as the emotionalist. Is that what we want? Dapat ba ganun ang pag-worship natin sa Diyos na kailangan nanggagaling dito? Now, there are also worshiper who's going to church. Wala namang pakialam. Kahit sinong katabi niya, I'm here just to worship. Pupunta ako and I'll give my tithes and offering and I'll go out. I don't care about the relationship. How do we call them? They are the stoic. They don't care about the emotion or the relationship. They base their actions in their intellect. Ito yung alam ko how to worship God, and this is how I should worship God. Our God do not want that kind of worshiper. He is asking us to love Him with all of our heart, our soul, our mind, and our strength. Just try to imagine this word. Just try to remember this word. Lord, I love you with all of my heart, with all of my soul, with all of my mind, and with all of my strength. Now, I want you to close your eyes and say it as if you are talking to God personally. Lord, I love you with all of my heart, with all of my soul, with all of my mind, and with all of my strength. Love you, Lord. How does it feel? How does it feel? As if God is changing the emotion, the negative emotions that we have, and filling us with the love, the joy, the peace, the patience, the goodness, the kindness, the faithfulness, the gentleness, and self-control. That's why I'm telling, loving God is the antidote to negative emotions. Why it is important to manage our emotion. You're asking, bakit ba natin pa nag-uusapan tong emotion? Why is it important to manage our emotion? Our emotion sometimes is unreliable. There are people who are making decisions based on their emotion. Pakiramdam ko, dapat ganito yung gawin natin. Wala na tayong dapat pag-usapan. This is what we need to do because ito yung nararamdaman ko. Sometimes, it is not right to depend our decision based on what we feeling. No? Na-experience na ba? Na bumili ka ng isang bagay without thinking kasi ang ganda-ganda ng marketing plan, ang ganda-ganda. Nakita mo na kamukha ng iPhone. Really happened to us. Sa IT show, nagpunta kami. Meron doong smartphone na looks like an apple. So, ang ganda-ganda. Siguro na nabighani kami dun sa mga decorations and bumili kami. And suddenly, yung phone, without thinking at all, bumili kami. Hindi naman namin magamit masyado. Kamukha lang talaga ng iPhone. Why? You bought it out of emotion. You're driven. Or someone took advantage dahil nakatingin ka dun sa commercial or sa marketing material nila. So ganda. Na-drive yung emotion mo. Other people, if we cannot control our emotion, other people will take advantage of it. Let's talk about the negative emotion. These are the example of the negative emotion. Anger, fear, hatred, and guilt. Ito yung mga negative emotions that we are sometimes experiencing in our life. You know what? Such negative emotion has an impact to our physical body? Well, it can cause chronic fatigue, stress, sleepless night, worry, anxiety, and serious illness. Sino ba rito nakakaramdam ng mga ganitong emotion? Result na ng body na, alam mo, lagi ako na-stress or nag-worry ako. Who among us experiencing this? According to science, such negative emotion, they are also some of the most toxic emotion that we can have. Toxic pala itong mga emotion na to, no? The feeling of rage and hatred build up in the mind, body, and soul, affecting our body organs and natural processes. Yung natural processes natin and our breathing. Kaya pala, naninikip yung dibdib natin, ano? Masyado tayong stress. Because of that anger, fear, or whatever guilt that we are experiencing. And it says here, expressing anger in a reasonable way, it's actually healthy. But too much anger and yelling to others frequently may be at the greater risk of heart disease. Wow. No, yung sobrang galit pala natin, no? Sige kayo, magkakaroon kayo ng sakit sa puso. Prolonged bouts of anger can take the toll on the body in the form of high blood pressure, stress, anxiety, headaches, and poor circulation. Kaya pala nagkakaroon tayo ng shortness of breath o yung mataas ang blood pressure natin. May reason pala yun. May reason pa yun. Think about the anger. Think about the fear. Think about the guilt. Sabi ng researchers, they say that once we get angry, no, and so stressed, even for just 5 minutes of stress, na hindi natin na-control yung emotion natin, the next 6 hours, we are impaired of our immune system. Kaya tayo nagkakaroon ng sakit. Wala tayong panlaban. Just the 5 minutes of stress. Or yung anger. Or uncontrolled emotion. Would you like that to happen? There are people also trying to suppress their emotion. Naka-experience na ba kayo? O meron ba kayong kilala na tao na the way they behave in the group, parang they are trying to make sure there are boundaries dun sa sarili niya. Why? Some people trying to make sure they are protected because of the painful experience from the past. Ayaw niyang maranasan ulit yun. They are trying to suppress themselves to experience kung ano yung mabuting bagay. Because of the heartaches, ayaw niya nang umibig. Ano? Ganun na nararamdaman natin. Because of that, panloloko ng isang tao, ay hindi na ako magmamahal. How you're trying to suppress your feeling. So, kamusta po tayo? There is a solution to all of this negative emotion. Even though we are reading a lot of materials about how to manage our stress and anxiety, why we are still experiencing sleepless night? Think about it. Kahit anong pag-aaral mong stress, hindi ka pa rin makatulog. I want you to remember, our emotional battle is not ours. Hindi ito laban nyo. Give it to someone who is powerful. Hindi po yung katabi nyo. Huwag niyong ipasa yung sama ng loob nyo. Baka sumama din ang loob ng katabi nyo. Ano? Well, what I'm trying to say is that realize that our emotion, when it is the one who is in control, give that emotion to someone who can really control or really can overcome that negative emotion, that negative experience. Kung meron tayong mga experience na masama, give it to God. You know, I want you to remember this. You have to give your worries to God. In 1 Peter 5:7, give all your worries and cares to God, or He cares about you. He cares for us. Kahit anong pagsubok o problema na mayroon tayo ngayon, I believe God can help you. If we are experiencing something that is really bothering us, Give it to God. But God is asking us, you have to love me even you are in the midst of a difficult situation. That is what our God is asking us. Love me with all of your heart, the soul, mind, and strength. Kung mayroong pagsubok sa Diyos, o mayroong pagsubok sa ating buhay, give it to God. I believe God cares for us. He will bring us out of that situation. Let God rules our emotion. Wag nating hayaan na labanan yung emotion natin. But let God control our emotion. And you know what? Let the Spirit of God control our life. I'm sure once we express our love to God, the Spirit of God will be in us. And He promised this. He promised this. In Galatians 5:22-23 says, but the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Lahat po nung anger and hate, God will fill us with His Spirit and will replace everything that is inside our heart with the joy, the peace. Mararamdaman nyo na kahit anong sitwasyon ng buhay po natin, there will be peace, for God is in control. That is the promise of God. That if you love me with all of your heart, soul, mind, and strength, then I will give you the joy. I will give you the peace. I will give you that self-control. Amen? We have to do something. God asks us to love Him the way He wants to. Dapat ganun natin mahalin ng Diyos. Not the way we know how. Not the way we feel how. Love God. Yung buong pagkatao natin. If you are experiencing depression, God can heal such depression. If there's anger, if there's worry, God can heal such worry. If there is anxiety, only God can heal that. That is the promise of God. So, Pastor, ano bang dapat kong gawin? Now I know that loving God is the antidote to my negative emotions. What should you do? What should we do? Just love God. Mahalin mo ang Diyos kahit anong situation mo ngayon. As we study this emotional campaign, kung mayroong pagsubok sa buhay natin, do not hate God. Huwag nating sisihin ang Diyos. But all the more love Him. For we know God cares about us. Love God not by the way we know or feel, but by the way God asks us how. And that is to love God with all of our heart, our soul, our mind, and our strength.